Hello everybody, I'm back with another video for you today, and this time I have some Skellige to talk about and share with you, and it is a bit of Arnjolf, a leader which I really love, very satisfying to just throw onto the board, get the Bloodthirst synergy of course, and get going with cards like Svanrige and whatnot, and we also have Disgraced Brawler which got added, which has a bit of synergy with the leader. So apart from those cards, got a really cool deck here, rely on that kind of finisher power with Arnjolf, as well as some Bloodthirst enablers earlier on in the game to get the value on the bronzes and the golds and whatnot. So let's jump into the idea of the deck, some of the combos you can do and whatnot, shall we? So the bronze package is pretty straightforward. We have light longships to damage units, set up Bloodthirst. We have brawlers for just a nice amount of tempo. You can drop them kind of later on into rounds where you're not expecting damage for a really good 7 for 5. Equally with Primal Savagery, you have a 7 for 5, which is just amazing. Some really good 5 provision cards in Skellige at the moment with those three. And you can, of course, set this up with the damage and whatnot that you have. We have Butchers to synergize with both Harold's little skulls that he spawns and the totem that spawns little fanatics, of course. So a couple of ways that you can really, make the Butcher work. Otherwise, it's just a 5 for 4 if you don't have any synergy going on with it, so really good bronze. Svalblood Ravager as well, enabling Bloodthirst, helping with it. You only really need one damaged unit. If you damage another unit with it, then you can get its effect off without having to proc Bloodthirst too, so that's pretty nice. And apart from that, we have a lot of thinning targets with Skirmisher, Spores, and Morkvarg for our Coral and our Burner. Now, you might say, you don't have enough targets there. You've only got 3 kind of discard targets and 4 discards with Burner and Coral. Truth is, you don't need to necessarily get the full value with Coral. It's often the case that you can discard Primal Savagery if you would like the damage on it. Alternatively, you can discard maybe a Skirmisher along with the Spores. You can use then Burner to get rid of maybe a Morkvarg plus, I don't know, Butcher, Ravager, kind of one of the weaker bronzes. But really the point is, the thinning is just very, very, very good. You don't need it to kind of be 100% optimized every time. You don't need another Skirmisher. And if you're not playing Bran, a lot of the time that ends up bricking. So I think it's probably okay to run this package that we've got here, to be honest with you. With that being said, we do have the thinning in the Coral and the Burner, of course, very important. And the rest of the deck is a lot of Bloodthirst synergy, really. We have pretty much all the Bloodthirst cards you can throw in, give or take. We have Svanrige, we have Donar, both very good, of course, in round 3 with your leader, or potentially earlier on if you're able to secure the Bloodthirst. We have a bit of Lock with the Jenge. And we have, Ulfodin for tool removal. We have Gimpy for board clearing those pesky fledglings or whatever that the opponent plays. We have Regis for a bit of damage. We have Knut with Gregoire, which is one of the definitely cooler combos that you can pull off. Typically, you want to go round 3 Arnjolf into Svanrige, kill one of the 1 strength guys that spawns with Gregoire, and then you can use Knut onto Gregoire to deal 5 damage, which doesn't actually, damage Gregoire. You can basically get an 11 for 9 with Knut. There's a backup on there, of course, Fanatics with the Totem for Knut if you don't have that combo, and that'll make Knut an 8 for 9. So pretty much you can use him to either be an 11 for 9 or an 8 for 9 with removal value, which I find pretty good. Definitely with Gregoire, very powerful combo there. Howard, of course, just good all the time, and that's pretty much everything. So basically, deck is you play around one out a little bit, you maybe play a little bit of damage, of Bloodthirst enablers with your Bronze Core and whatnot, you get to round 3 and then you slam the Arnjolf down, you make some nice little combos with Svanrige, Donar, Gregoire and maybe Totem, maybe Knut for big tempo plays. Really not a lot of decks can out-tempo this in terms of raw points that you can slam onto the board. Even stuff like monsters, might not be able to do it, especially with Detlaff having been nerfed now. So, really quite potent, I think. Powerful when it works. Can be sometimes tricky to get to that round 3, but if you're able to do it, then the leader value and the power in your golds is just so damn good. That being said, let's jump into a game or two and see how this deck plays. Alright, we're going to be up against Ithne. Should be an okay matchup, I think. We're not really too vulnerable to control at all. Only playing light longships as our real engine, I suppose. So it should be alright. What are we going to mulligan here? We have Coral targets, so that's really lovely. We can maybe even discard Morkvarg with Coral. Svalblood Ravager, not the best in the world. Likewise with Butcher, we can maybe get rid of one of these. In fact, I'd probably rather get rid of Butcher, because they're better later on with Harold than earlier on, I think. 1 Brawler we can get rid of as well. We don't really need 2 of them. Rather save that for later in the round and then drop it when You know, a lot of the removal's already gone. Alright, that's going to be a pretty damn big play. But we can respond with our Ulfheden. I think we will do that. Knock it back down in strength and set up the kill on it with Regis Bloodlust. Going to get an extra buff or two for the opponent there, but not the end of the world. Normally we would start with maybe a light longship or something, but we don't have any in hand. So we're going to maybe be in a little bit of trouble in terms of some of our bronzes not finding the full value. We'll see though, we have Coral to maybe set up damage. Let's go with that Regis to make sure the engine doesn't get in too much carryover. Can kill that dwarf, of course, with the Primal Savagery. Maybe shouldn't have played on front row to brick Skirmisher a little bit, but I think it's okay. So we'll just get rid of some bronzes here, do a bit of thinning with Coral as well, and then, you know, see what else we can make happen. If we're able to win this round, then great. If not, then that's probably okay as well. Ithne not the scariest of kind of leaders in terms of having to bleed it or anything. Let's go Primal Savagery, pick up that value, and then we can go Coral, and it will be more likely to damage a unit and start setting up Bloodthirst for the Ravager and whatnot. Should be good. Coral and Burner are still just very, very good. I mean, Coral didn't even get nerfed. Burner did, but she's still insanely strong for what she is. The amount of thinning you get for the amount of provisions it costs is just very, very powerful. So I imagine Skellige's still going to be in a good spot. Maybe Arnjolf won't be the best Skellige leader, but he's definitely one of the most fun, in my opinion. Maybe alongside Spellblood. Very unique effects and ways to play the deck, which I do enjoy. But, you know, we're probably in a good spot against Ithne. Typically, these kind of more control-y decks like Ithne, maybe monsters with a lot of removal, whatever, maybe even no unit decks, we're going to be able to have a good time against them because we just proactively put a ton of points on the board with Svanrige, Gregoire, plus leader, etc., the brawlers and whatnot. So, you know, we're not too focused on control, but we do have some, because it is, of course, important to make sure you don't, you know, get completely wrecked or whatever by, you know, engines. So let's go with Coral now, do some thinning, we'll get rid of Spores, hopefully not hit Greg, and okay, we did, that's fine. We can also get rid of Morkvarg, thin that out, and, you know, keep our lead. So unfortunately we don't get the Ravager online, but we do have Gimpy on the Volunteers, so that's kind of, you know, I guess a consolation prize in a way. Gregoire's in hand as well, so we can save that for round 3. Maybe get Canute to synergize with him. That would be very nice. I think this is our Gimpy now. We are running out of plays, but we have this 7-point guy if we need to throw him out. We can also play Ravager this round if we just want to, you know, get another card out of the hand. It's not exactly a needed card, but a 6 for 4, very good when you can proc its ability, which, you know, later on shouldn't be too hard with, of course, our leader, late longships, all of that good jazz that we have in the deck. We're just going to take a win on even, no problem. Did use quite a lot of golds to get there, but we've still got plenty of power in our hand, as you can see with this Svanrige and Gregoire. Donar, all beautiful alongside Arnjolf in round 3. And there's Canute as well. Perfect. We could probably get rid of the Butcher again. We don't have the synergy with it really, so it's a 5 for 4, not amazing. The Brawlers are fine. I'm going to get rid of Ravager because it might be hard to make it work. Oh, this hand is very, very, very good. We'll probably play a Longship to start things off, see if they respond, and just go for a bit of a bleed here. Maybe commit our leader, maybe not. We'll see how things go. But really, we should be in a great spot here just to win. I mean, we have some really insanely powerful plays, you know, in Svanrige and Gregoire. Canute, Donar, I mean, basically what? It's a 9, an 11, an 11, and another 11. So many 11-point plays, it's crazy. Alright, Cleaver is going to clean that up. Let's go with the Totem then. I'll just get a 10 for 10 effectively. Pretty much all of our plays here are super strong. We could probably just go for the 2-0, I imagine. If their hand isn't, like, very, very good, then they're going to have a hard time catching up to the amount of points we have, I imagine. We've got, you know, the Brawlers as well. They can lock themselves if we have that leader down, so we can go for that. And with Canute here to help with the shield synergy, it's very, very cool synergy. I like it a lot. When it works, it feels really great. When it doesn't, he's not the best card, I guess, but I think it's worth including. We have a lot of thinning, of course, because we're Skellige, still Burner in the deck, so you're often able to get that combo off reliably, along with, you know, the Svanrige and whatnot. Okay, that lock's kind of annoying. Does mean we can't really proc the Fanatic here unless we use Canute to do it. But they do have to use a leader charge here. Otherwise they fall behind, so that's good news. And we could probably just play one brawler normally. I imagine it's unlikely both will be able to synergize with our leader here. He'll probably like try to deny the bloodthirst in some way. Maybe we don't want to commit leader yet. We can also just play these brawlers out and then save all of our good stuff around 3. If the opponent doesn't catch up in points, then it may very well be worth just taking a pass and doing this in round 3 instead with an extra card. And remember, the brawler's really, really good if it doesn't get damaged. Just a 7 for 5. And again, they're using leader charges here, which is going to make our round 3 stronger if we choose to go there. And I think we probably can. Let's just get rid of another brawler then, and then we'll probably make a pass very soon with the hand we have. Since the opponent's committing leader charges, that's effectively stuff they can't use for round 3. So they have the advantage in this round because they're using their leader. We have the advantage in the next round because they've used their leader. So, and even more charge is going to go here, so that's really, really good for us. Not going to be much for them to have in round 3, it seems. Alright then, I'm pretty confident in my hand for round 3. They did get a little bit of carryover on Sursa, but we're not really going to make many headwaves here if we play Arnjolf. We might be able to win the round, but we're already 5 down, so probably better to reset, do the same thing but with last say, and a few more cards in round 3. Primal Savagery might be a bit difficult to utilise here, likewise with the Butcher. Ravager's fine, I think it's just a 6 for 4, not too bad. I could probably get rid of Butcher here, and then Skirmisher. And Burner's a good pickup. We can fix our hand and maybe get some extra points with the Skirmisher or whatever. That'll probably be our first play here, and we'll get to have a look at what our hand is looking like, you know, for the end here.
We shall do it my way.
And it does look like we get the Butcher, which is not a bad draw at all with Harold in hand. We can probably actually get rid of these guys in that case, because this guy will end up being, you know, 7 or even more points alongside Harold. So we'll get rid of the Ravager as well as that spell, just in case, you know, ends up being dead. It might be hard to set up a 2 strength unit, we never know here. Might not be, but this hand looks very, very strong, so no complaints really. And their leader is 1 point compared to our Arnjolf, which is many, many points, with synergy with, of course, our other cards. So that's really awesome stuff. Just going to be an archer, it's not too scary, so we can probably go with Harold now, of course, start proccing those skulls, get the Butcher out maybe as well, and the Bloodthirst ticking, the bleeding ticking, and the Bloodthirst enabled and whatnot. Sheldon going to come down, alright, so Butcher time I think we want to hit, basically Sheldon, because then it's guaranteed to, even if the skull hits him, we're going to get full bleeding value basically. So that's their kind of big finisher gone. And we are finding ourselves ahead in points, so that's not too bad. We're of course going to wait as late as possible with the Arnjolf, which will be next turn I imagine that we have to play it. Get the Bloodthirst from Donar and whatnot online. And Tree on board presents a pretty nice target for us to hit, I think, with Donar, so let's go ahead and do that. And remove that guy. Even if they buff maybe a Siren or whatever, we have a damaged Gabor now, so that's giving us Bloodthirst 3 for the Svanrigger, so we should be safe to get the value on him. And Geralt being used on Arnjolf, well, we do have a bigger unit, which he's not hitting, so that feels pretty nice. Let's play him now. Big points. And then we have this nice finisher of Gregoire plus Knut, which, you know, they can maybe interrupt, but if they do, we can always hit a skull and get a tiny bit of value there. Wouldn't be the end of the world. Looking pretty nice. It's going to be the sword onto Burner, not really that powerful.
You stand before the Queen of
Although, you know, their last card might be quite good, I suppose. We can definitely go and get that Gregoire value now. Just pinging one of these Sirens is fine. And that's easily going to be game. Just a little bit of a look at how many damn points this deck can get in the round 3. Very, very powerful, and not much is going to beat it if we can get there. Let's jump into another game and see if we can do that again. Alright, next opponent going to be an Emir. Did have to turn the light on because it was getting a little bit dark. But okay, what do we got? We've got a Coral with the Skirmisher, that's not too bad. We could probably get rid of Butcher, I imagine. It's not really got much synergy here in this hand. Ravager could be another kick, but I think a Brawler is probably better to get rid of, since we have 2 of them, maybe a bit overkill. Playing 1 in round 1 is good enough, right? But 2, maybe it ends up dying, one of them, and being only worth 4 points or whatever. Or 3 points, is it? I don't know. No, it's 4 points, yeah. 4 points when it dies. 4 for 5, not even that bad, honestly. Pretty good card, I think. Alright, opponent's going to lead off with a Magni. We don't really have anything to punish that. Kind of lacking tool removal in this deck, but we could Spores it, I guess. Wouldn't be too bad of a play. In fact, would be pretty damn good. We might hold on to that, potentially. On the other hand, this does get dealt with a lock if we want to do that. You know, or potentially something else. I think I'm just going to damage it for the moment and then maybe lock the Magni, since we don't really have an answer to that one. We do have an answer to the Nausicaa in terms of just killing it with damage, right? Oh, killing it with Gimpy. That sounds even better to me, honestly. Let's go for it. Sure, sure. Perfect. Killing 2 engines with Gimpy is the dream, isn't it? It's just the dream. Now we're in a great spot to kind of win on even again. And Dehuaraquack's going to pull. Okay, that's a play. Sure, let's go with the Ravager now, since it's enabled on the Dehuaraquacks, or whatever you call it. We can then think about pass, maybe. Soonish. I'm going to go with the Brawl this turn, I reckon. This next turn. Maybe Coral, I don't know. Do some thinning. Spores is even a play on Magni Division if you want. Ah, I'm going to play a Brawler. Alright. Pretty good target for our Bloodlust, I think, so let's take it. We'll just kill him. Not the best Cantarella play ever. I think we're winning on even here. They probably have to pass. Pass at this point, right?
Here's our chance.
Looks like it's Mill. Okay, so maybe we don't actually want to discard anything with Coral. It's a possibility. Let's play a Brawler here. I think it's very important we win round 1 if it is Mill. They did get some tools with the expansion, so you know, we might see shenanigans happening here. Who knows? Who knows? Anything is possible. Are they going to push? They need 16 points. Don't think they want to do that. So win on even, pretty easy. Looks like it's some kind of mill deck. So I imagine mulliganing away the skirmisher and maybe, you know, Coral as well is going to be a good shout here. And we're going to try not to thin ourselves too much. Just going to play some kind of crappy cards here, I guess. Hand is not looking too great. In fact, it might have been better to keep Coral and go for kind of a 2-0. I'm not sure. But whatever. We're locked into this now. So, Longship. Unfortunately, all of our good cards are in deck, so if they are milling us, it's going to be quite painful. And a Petri's Filter. I think I feel pretty happy playing more cards here. It seems like it's going to be some pretty janky stuff happening. So we've got the Fanatic to synergize with Butcher. That's nice. In this situation, Canute could be used on one as well, if we want him to get some value. Another Petri's Filter. What? What is going on? I'm confused. I'm actually confused. We could probably just play... So we can just play a Butcher then. Damage one of these. This is a 4-point card. I'm really curious what this is going to be, and I'm actually afraid, so... Let's go a bit further here. It's going to be Traherne for now. Get rid of one of my good cards, god damn it. It's pretty irritating. But okay, we have Canute onto this, I guess, as a play. Probably getting an option between a lot of our good cards here. Or maybe some of our bad ones, but... Oh, that's all for Dingon. Okay, that's not the end of the world. Oh, he's going to replay it, I see. Or replay something anyway. We haven't really been milled too much, but I guess Coral is going to be a difficulty in round 3. There's an Isbel, right, so that's what the Petri's Filter was going to be for. Makes sense. Took one of my cards, and it was in fact Morkvarg. Alright, not too bad, honestly. I've had worse stolen from me. Let's go ahead and play the Scholar then, shall we? And probably putting it on the Fanatic's good, right? Because... Yeah, how does this work? Base power is at least half, so we shouldn't put it on that, right? Gotcha. We'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing. I'm not even sure they have enough points here if we just commit leader to actually win, so... Should be an exercise in how to beat Mill. I mean, they just have 4-point cards. It's pretty rubbish, right? The leader's down. We know they have a Morkvang in hand. Svanrigger's gone, which is a bummer, but... whatever. Let's go Canute then, and damage that Traherne now. We could be damaging Isbel down, but I kind of want to spores her, so... Not going to bother. Not going to bother. We can always damage it. Next turn maybe or something. Definitely not a great hand though. Definitely not a great hand for now. Morkvar's dead for them though, and... Okay, that's a Damien into replaying more stuff, I suppose. But we'll get rid of this. With the Primal Savagery, and I guess we can then, you know, ping one of these guys, may as well, right? So since we know that we have they have Morkvar, we can maybe make a play based on that. My Harold is also gone. I think we just go for the 2-0 here. I didn't even have a good hand, but it looks like it would be possible. Let's hit the Damien down. Start damaging stuff. So far ahead in points. I think we just win. I don't even know what this deck was, but I think we just have the points to do it. Which is pretty good news. Yeah, whatever. Let's just commit. Let's just commit. I mean, how can they win? It's probably just worth throwing the leader down because there's like no card that will do it at that point. Go for it. See you in many, many points, my friend. He does still have a mirror, I guess, but not going to be enough. It's not going to be good enough. And that'll be a rather random win against Mill to finish things off. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the deck. Do give it a try if you want another Skellige option. I've been finding it pretty fun, and yeah, maybe quite powerful as well, maybe not. Who knows? Hard to tell. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Do subscribe for more videos, of course, and I'll see you next time.